There's no ship anywhere like MV Resolution, a marine monster that turns into a giant construction platform in minutes.
When you realize what you're lifting, 18,000 tons of ship on 6 legs, it's mind-blowing.
Her job is tough and risky.
This time of the year, we're just rolling with the punches.
A year-round job building wind farms in dangerous seas. There's only one thing mightier than Resolution, and that's Mother Nature herself. MV Resolution is made to take on a challenge. The first ship ever custom built to install wind turbines on the high seas. That's why she's one of the busiest ships in the world. Today, giant wind farms are powering entire cities. More are on the way. But the construction challenges are huge, and every day Resolution battles problems beyond her control. Wind, waves, and weather.
You choose to build wind farms in windy sites, don't you? So, don't come here thinking you're going to have an easy life.
It takes a special ship to work in these conditions. Resolution is the largest of her kind, a jack-up vessel with giant legs that can lift her above the water. What makes her unique? She's got 6 of them. Her rivals only have 4, so Resolution's got 2 legs up on the competition and the weather.
We can work all year round. We can go in and work on sites where perhaps others have had great difficulty.
Resolution's gigantic mechanical limbs are lowered hydraulically to the sea floor and then lift all 18,000 tons of her up to 10 meters above the surface of the water. In less than an hour, she can change from a ship into a stable offshore construction platform. Resolution is now ready to start building 20-story tall wind turbines. First, a foundation or monopile 50 meters long is pounded into the ocean floor. A 22-meter transition piece goes on next. Then a 60-meter tall tower. At the very top, 3 massive turbine blades, each one half the length of a jumbo jet's wingspan. A single turbine can power a small town. The United Kingdom is building more offshore wind farms than anyone else. One of the biggest is on a stretch of water called Solway Firth. When it's finished, the Robin Rig wind farm will deliver power to 120,000 homes. Resolution's role is critical. Her job is to anchor the foundations of these giant turbines in the seabed. Project manager Ian Johnson is counting on her to deliver.
60 turbine foundations to install. We've got 27 left to do after this. We're averaging around 10 piles a month.
So far, so good. But on this $470 million project, it's too soon to be optimistic. Resolution is heading into the toughest part of the schedule. It's winter in Solway Firth. Conditions can be harsh and unpredictable. Today, Resolution heads west across the Irish Sea. Her destination, the docks of Belfast. She's here to load components for the next round of foundations. Ships have come through Northern Ireland's busiest port for 500 years. The Titanic was built here. But today, it's all about the future. This is the staging site for construction at Robin Rig. In the crowd of ships, Resolution stands out, and her crew loves the profile.
I remember one incident. We sailed up the Thames in London. And people thought the aliens had come visiting. It was unbelievable. And at one point they thought we were going to start drilling for oil in the Thames. Classic.
This is a weekly journey for Resolution. The turbine components are so massive, she can only carry a few at a time. Each foundation or monopile weighs 280 tons. Just one of these steel tubes weighs as much as 100 elephants. And the yellow transition pieces at 130 tons are almost as big. Captain Larkin needs to start loading, but Mother Nature is not on his side.
Just waiting for the latest forecast to come through, but based on what we're seeing at the moment, it's probably 10 knots above what it should be.
When the wind is too strong, the monster monopiles can dangle out of control during loading. Captain Larkin is forced to wait and hope for a window of opportunity during the night.
There are longer periods within that time frame that we can work, and we'll just have to take advantage of those opportunities as and when they present themselves.
It's a long 6-hour wait. Finally, the wind dies down. Now the port's giant cranes get to work. Ian Johnson keeps a close eye on the load. He can't afford delays. It takes a crane of biblical proportions to load these mammoth pieces. The port of Belfast has 2 of them, Samson and Goliath. They can lift a whopping 840 tons each, one of the largest lifting capacities on Earth. 106 meters above Resolution, crane operator Billy Elliott has a bird's-eye view.
You have a virtual 360 view around here, so you're able to see exactly where it's going. And it's just a matter of taking it down roughly to where they want you to go, and then they just guide you in.
Okay, Paul, start coming down then.
Coordination between the deck supervisor and Billy is vital. Miscommunication could be disastrous.
You're at the mercy of the boys down below, and you just have to follow what they tell you and keep your eyes open.
Start coming down here. You've got a 6 to go, you've got coming off.
There's not much of a trick to it, it's just concentration and listening to what you're being told.
The sheer size of the components makes it risky. So does load placement. The added weight on deck has to be distributed evenly and secured properly, or Resolution could capsize.
At the minute, we have just completed the last of the transition pieces on the ship. Mission's accomplished. It is indeed.
The next morning, Resolution is ready to roll. But there is another delay. The ship has to arrive at the wind farm when tides and currents are the slowest, making it easy to navigate the construction site. That means Resolution has to wait in Belfast for another 12 hours. She'll leave tonight if Mother Nature cooperates.
We're a 24-hour-a-day operation, and it's all about weather, tides. The main issue for us is wind. As you can see, it's less than 10 knots there at the moment, so it's good. Any time now.
At sunset, Captain Larkin decides to make his move. Below deck, engineer Tom Keogh and third engineer Norm MacDonald fire up Resolution's engines.
Hey Chris, when are we due to go? Okay. Okay, ready to roll, are we? Yeah. We're going to go. Get the job ready for you off.
So all we've got to do is literally just press the button and away we go.
And they're off. A mighty ship with a megaton load. In port, her crew has outwitted the elements. But they are now heading into real danger on an angry and unpredictable winter sea. The world's largest jack-up ship is building a wind farm off the west coast of England. MV Resolution has just left Belfast with a fresh load of components, 2,000 tons of turbine foundation pieces, and is heading into the unpredictable Irish Sea. Winter storms have already caused construction delays. Project manager Ian Johnson worries that they'll start to add up.
Unfortunately, we're in the winter period, and after this sequence, we've only got 3 months left. So we really don't need problems just at the moment.
It's 140 kilometers across the Irish Sea from Belfast to the Robin Rig wind farm. Winter gales move through here faster than a freight train.
For the following 24 hours,
Captain Larkin is trying to cross before the weather gets worse.
northwest to 5 to 7.
The North Channel here, the worst case scenario is when the winds blow from the northwest. The wind is forecast to go northwesterly tonight, but hopefully our plans will get us across there before we see any effects of the weather.
Engineer Tom Keogh keeps a close eye on Resolution's 4 engines. There's one for each propeller, an innovative design.
The ship is diesel-electric propulsion. There are no direct-driven shafts the way you would have in a conventional ship. Everything's electric.
Resolution does not rely on drive shafts to turn her propellers. It's a more efficient way to burn fuel and drive the ship. Her 4 engines are housed in 2 identical rooms, one port, one starboard. Together, they can generate enough electricity to power a small town. Just like his boss, third engineer Norm MacDonald knows his engines.
At the moment we're standing in the starboard engine room and I'll just show you one of the main engines here. This is marinized Mitsubishi engines. Each one's spinning out about 1,900 kilowatts of electricity, each engine. So we've got 4 V16s.
Keeping Resolution's engines running is serious business for Norm, who's got a not-so-serious animated nickname.
It's Shrek. So yeah, I don't really look like him. I don't think I look like him, so other people think I do. Donkey! I don't think I do.
On the bridge, Captain Larkin watches the weather. The engines can only push Resolution to 11 knots or 20 kilometers per hour. If a storm catches her on the open sea, it could be disastrous. The problem is in her design. Resolution is a workhorse, not sleek, but solid. 130 meters long, 38 across, 6 stories high. But only 4 meters of her keel are below the water. She's top-heavy. Her superstructure catches the wind like a giant sail. Put a big load on her deck and a stormy sea could capsize her. And a storm is brewing. Captain Larkin has to reach Solway Firth before it hits.
There's a lot of factors we have to take into account. The factors are the weather, the rate of the tide, the state of the sea, a significant wave height, swells. It's a balancing act.
For 12 hours, Resolution pushes her way across the Irish Sea and pulls into Solway Firth right on schedule. It's time to build turbines, and that will be a huge challenge. These may be perfect conditions for a wind farm, but bad for maneuvering ships. Gales of 90 kilometers an hour are common at this time of year.
Well, the weather this time of year can only be described as variable. Last load-out cycle we did in 5 days. The weather was superb. The weather's been rubbish ever since.
You come here expecting to cope with the difficulties, and the way you cope with them is what really makes the project.
Somewhere out in the darkness is Resolution's target.
Okay, cheers.
The GPS coordinates for its next foundation, E5. E5 is located deep inside the wind farm, a minefield of half-installed wind turbines barely visible in the water. With only 50 meters between them, there's not much room to avoid a collision.
I'll keep that on my port quarter, okay?
And they have to navigate in the dark and the wind.
This is not a place to be messing around in here, isn't it?
Without warning, the wind drops, and Captain Larkin decides he has to move in now.
It changes very, very rapidly. As you saw when we came in, we had 30 knots of wind, so what looked like a hopeless situation an hour ago has now changed into very promising, and we're making preparations to go in. Have you got a visual on it?
It's a bold move, but Captain Larkin trusts his ship and his crew. They have to maneuver Resolution within a meter of the target. The 60 turbines has to line up precisely. If they don't, they won't catch enough wind.
B3 open on the port quarter now, Chris, so keep an eye out for that one.
Engineer Chris Mussett monitors the engine speed.
Okay, I'm bringing the heading round to port now. Yeah.
They're 100 meters from the target.
The tides are quite strong here, and at the minute the wind is in the northwest, which is the worst possible direction for us.
Dangerous conditions. Time for Chief Mate Malcolm Craig to take over. He operates Resolution's secret weapon against the elements, her dynamic positioning system.
Ready to go.
The system uploads real-time data about wind, waves, and sea current conditions that can push the ship off target. Just like an autopilot, the system directs Resolution's stern thrusters to counteract currents and hold the ship in position.
There are no rudders on this ship. The ship has 4 azimuthing thrusters, which can rotate 360 degrees. When the ship's in dynamic positioning mode, these rotate as the computers direct them to maintain the ship in a specific position above the seabed.
Okay, Paul, so you're 20 meters off.
20 meters, yeah. You all ready?
Slowly and carefully, Resolution maneuvers toward E5. The engineers start to lower the legs, but not all the way, just deep enough to hover a meter above the seabed. Captain Larkin's 30 years of experience kicks in. He lets the wind push Resolution right onto the target. On the captain's order, second engineer Lenny Jones will drop her legs.
We're right on E5, and you can see now the wind is slowly but surely bringing her into the target zone. Okay, stand by, Lenny. Okay, she should be coming back
it's
now.
2 meters coming in.
Meter and a half. A meter. 60 centimeters off target. Okay, are you happy? Are you ready for us to pin?
Okay, I'll see you inside.
Okay, Lenny, go for it.
When all 6 legs make solid contact with the seabed, Resolution is pinned right over the target, only 50 centimeters from the center of E5. Step 1 is a success, but tomorrow, Resolution and her crew will face a bigger challenge. When Captain Larkin orders them to jack her up at daybreak, they'll find out whether the seabed of Solway Firth is firm enough to support her entire 18,000 tons. MV Resolution battles unpredictable winter weather as her crew prepares to transform her from a ship into a giant construction platform. Last night, they lowered her massive jack-up legs, and she's pinned over Turbine Site E5. Now, they're ready to raise the mighty ship out of the water.
Okay.
Captain Larkin gives the order.
Okay, over it.
Moaning and groaning, the 6 legs start to lift the mammoth ship out of the water. Hydraulic collars grab the teeth on each leg and lift all 6 simultaneously. Slowly but surely, the legs move a half a meter every minute. And every minute, they put more pressure on the unpredictable seabed. The seabed has layers of sand and clay. The legs go through the top layer. If there's too much pressure, the clay layer beneath can't support them and will collapse. Construction veterans call it punch-through.
So whichever legs go through, they disappear very quickly, and the whole vessel lurches over.
Other jack-up vessels on other sites have punched through. Some have even toppled over. Resolution's 6 legs are supposed to prevent that from happening.
With 6 legs, if you were to get one leg to punch through, generally speaking, the ship will probably stay up. If it's 3 legs and you punch through with one, then she'll probably fall over.
But 6 legs are still no guarantee. So to spread the weight around even more, each leg has a 7 by 9 meter metal base. Resolution's legs can reach 50 meters down to the seabed. That's half the length of a football field. In water this deep, it can take up to 2 hours to jack up all the way. Finally, she's up. The seabed holds, and Resolution is now a construction platform 3 meters above the water and ready for action. But now her crew faces another frustrating delay. The winds are too high, and it's not safe for her cranes to lift the E5 monopile.
I'll have to have a look at the latest forecast run from the Met.
It's hurry up and wait again.
Half hour, I guess. Okay, bye-bye. Are perhaps 30 knots for crane limits. So when you have a weather forecast where the conditions are right on the margin, a lot of it is very much a case of sitting around and waiting on weather, monitoring the local weather.
It's nightfall before they get a break. The winter weather could turn nasty again at any moment. So the 17-man rigging crew will have to move fast. They're in charge of heavy lifting. They don't want to get caught with a 280-ton monopile half installed. Wrestling these foundations into place is slow, dangerous work that can't be rushed.
Well, I think half of what's good about the Resolution is the ship. The other half is the marine crew and the deck crew. You know, your ship's useless without that expertise, and they've got that expertise. They've done it on a number of wind farms before, and they're showing it again in this really challenging environment that we've got here at Robin Ring.
Phase 1 is to lift the monopile straight up and then off the deck. They use Resolution's 300-ton crane and a remote-controlled truck with 20 wheels that disperses the monopile's weight. A specially trained operator steers the truck under the monopile while the crane lifts one end. The truck hauls the monopile across the deck while the crane lifts up the other end until it's vertical. The crane then has to swing the 280-ton monopile out over the water. The crane eases the monopile down into a gripper. Like a giant hand, the gripper holds the monopile firmly in place right over the GPS target for E5. Ready to be pounded into the seabed by a gigantic hydro hammer. Positioning the monopile has put Resolution 12 hours behind schedule, and her crew is worried. Vicious winter weather is moving in again, and E5 is only half done. Unpredictable winter weather is making life tough for jack-up ship Resolution and her crew. They're struggling to stay on schedule, building a giant wind farm on England's west coast. At turbine site E5, the job is only half done. Now the 280-ton monopile is lined up, ready to be pounded into the seabed. That's a job for the hydro hammer, a supersized hydraulic pile driver. Resolution's crane lifts and then fits the 130-ton hammer onto the monopile. The first hit is critical. Just like hammering in a nail, too hard and the monopile could go in crooked. The hammer slams down on the monopile with incredible force. Remo Mewushin operates the hammer from a control room just off the deck.
This is a hydraulic system. We've got a power unit in the back with 2 engines in it and 2 hydraulic oil pumps. And those 2 pumps, they deliver oil to the hammer.
Inside the cylinder, a 40-ton weight drops 2 meters onto a steel impact plate, 50 times a minute, hour after hour. They have to drive the monopile 30 meters into the seabed, but the compressed sand bottom of Solway Firth is tough to crack. Remo increases power to pound harder. The hydro hammer gets its power from compressed nitrogen. It slams down with 2 Gs of force, 2/3 of the thrust used to launch the space shuttle.
And with this button, I can increase or reduce the energy. And with these 2 buttons, I can give more oil to the hammer.
Turn around.
But the hammer can't seem to pound hard enough to drive the monopile all the way down.
Yeah. We seem to be experiencing some difficulty in getting the pile down to foundation depth. We've been piling now for, I guess, 8 hours on and off. And ordinarily, we should be down to foundation depth somewhere in the order of 4 to 5 hours.
Another setback. And yet another storm is moving in. It could shut down construction before they get the monopile in. A repair team goes up to see what's wrong with the hammer. Oil starts to gush from the column. A valve on the hydro hammer has failed.
Hi, good afternoon, Chris. It's Paul Larkin here, captain on the Resolution.
The crew tries to stop the leak, and for once the wind is on their side. It blows the oil onto the deck instead of out to the sea. But it takes 6 hours to get the hammer back up and running.
I think the problem was piece of dirt in a valve or something like that. It's always difficult to find out.
Project manager Ian Johnson is frustrated. It's his job to make sure this project finishes on time and on budget.
We've been on this site now putting this pile in for over 30 hours. And if we don't get this sorted, then it puts a big risk to the completion date.
See what it can do for us.
Captain Larkin thinks they're not using a big enough hammer.
We're using an 800 kilojoule hammer at the moment. The supplier of the hammer does have a 1200 kilojoule hammer available. So there's talk of us changing this hammer out when we get back into Belfast, middle of next week.
But for now, the hydro hammer on board has to do the job, and it finally does. 4 hours later, the monopile is installed. Beneath Resolution, a storm surge is building. But the wind above is still at a safe level. The crew move quickly to install the 130-ton transition piece. They secure it just in time. The wind reaches gale force, and construction is shut down. Resolution's deck becomes a ghost town.
This is the nature of the work, particularly at this time of the year. We can and have sat for prolonged periods waiting on weather, in some instances up to a week.
With no other choice except wait out the storm, the crew takes a break, and the kitchen kicks into overtime. The crew is finding a lot to like about this modern, high-tech ship.
This ship compared to other ships is a lot better. Cleaner, food-wise, everything, you know.
There's plenty to keep it occupied, isn't there? We've got gyms and TV rooms, newspapers, and cards,
Pool table.
people.
A storm does have benefits. It breeds close friendships among the crew.
Oh, the things that goes on in the ship, I couldn't possibly tell you on TV. That's the best thing, being part of a team. We're good lads.
Here we'll have a look.
Up on the bridge, Captain Larkin is worried about the storm and the tide. It's moving fast and washing away the seabed that's holding up his ship.
The critical factor here is the rate of the tide and the effect of scour, and how the scour will likely undermine the foundations as the vessel sits on the seabed.
Scour is caused by currents washing away the seabed from under the ship's legs. It's a real possibility in Solway Firth, where locals say the tides move in and out as fast as a galloping horse. Too much scour increases the risk of a punch-through. The longer Resolution stays jacked up, the greater the chance one or more of her legs could collapse under her.
We could find ourselves in a situation where, if we did punch through, we could cause structural damage to the jacking system and ultimately probably have to abandon the vessel.
But they can't move. The storm has the ship pinned like a pro wrestler. She's not going anywhere, and neither are 12 of her crew who are supposed to go home today. They've finished their 30-day shift, but the sea is too rough for the workboat that's supposed to come take them ashore. For Tom Keogh, that's big trouble.
If I don't show up for a flight to Thailand on Friday, I'm dead. My life will not be worth living. And I'm quite serious about that. In all sincerity.
Call it a day and turn around. Bye-bye.
The captain tries, but he can't convince the workboat to pick up his crew.
You won't come out.
I'll go get my boiler seat.
There you go.
Back to work.
Oh, back to work, boys.
They are stranded on the high seas. And once again, they are at Mother Nature's mercy. Resolution is stuck. She should be hard at work pounding in turbine foundations. Instead, she's jacked up and can't move while a storm batters the Robin Rig wind farm. The delay is costing time and money, and it's dangerous. If Resolution stays jacked up for too long, the seabed could collapse beneath her. Captain Larkin updates crew members who are waiting to go on shore leave, and the news is not good.
What I'm being told is that certainly through this morning, perhaps up as far as noon, they will have no boat availability in the field. Thanks.
The crew puts on a brave face. They've been on the job long enough to understand why you can't risk a journey in the middle of a storm surge.
So hopefully we'll get off tomorrow. But when you live in the UK and you work offshore, expect the weather to do its worst for at least 6 months of the year.
By morning, the storm has eased up and a workboat brings 12 new crew. She will return to shore with Tom, Norm, and the 10 others.
Second best side you'll see. Best side's a pint.
There is still a 3-meter storm surge in Solway Firth. The crew change will be risky. To reduce the danger, Resolution jacks down to the surface.
The boat won't come in alongside until we're down at our normal depth, about a metre and a half draft, and then he'll come alongside of the ladder.
But it's still precarious. One slip could mean a crushing fall between the vessels. The crew is off, but Resolution remains stuck. The sea is still too rough to jack down all the way. The waves could make the ship roll. The legs could smash into the seabed, and they are not built to take that kind of hit.
Bottom of the legs would start to bounce on the seabed. I mean, you could cause irreparable damage to the jacking system. So it isn't an option we're going to even consider.
While they wait, Captain Larkin adjusts his plans. They've been too long at E5. They should have moved long ago. Now they have to skip their next planned target and move right on to the most time-sensitive one, J4.
One of the piles we have on deck, J4, it's critical the timing of when we go onto that site relative to the tide because of the seabed conditions.
J4 is located in an area with a thin sand layer. If Resolution gets stuck jacked up, even a little bit of scour could cause her legs to sink. Right now, the currents are slow, so Resolution has to move fast.
See the weather forecast for Robin Riggs just arrived in now.
It's still too windy, but the forecast is promising.
Yes, it's higher. So it's back on the margins for moving again, but it looks good for tomorrow morning. We'll have a look tonight. If we can't make it tonight, it'll be 6 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And so they wait, and wait, and wait. Finally, the wind subsides.
We'll be in the water in the next 20 minutes, half an hour.
But this jackdown will require more caution than usual. Resolution is usually up for less than a day. The weather and equipment holdups have left her here for 2 days. Her legs could be stuck solid in the seabed.
We've got enough power that we can pull ourselves under the water, so you have to be careful you don't over-pull, or you can start bending bulkheads and doing damage to the ship.
There's an effective way to pop her legs free. In the sole of each foot, 8 water nozzles can blast out 600 tons of water per minute to clean out any mud between Resolution's toes.
Like if you've got your the foot stuck in mud in a boot, when you pull your foot up, it's really quite difficult. But if you're forcing water underneath through the bottom of your boot will come out straight away. Okay, leg lifting.
Leg lifting, and we're going to come off, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, on the back deck, Mike, we should come off on this lift.
Okay, all out.
Okay, all out.
Yeah, that's us lifting.
Okay, on the back deck, Mike, coming up on all 6 legs now.
As her legs lift free, Resolution is a ship again, and she's floating dangerously close to the E5 foundation.
We're sitting probably somewhere around about 3 meters away from the foundation on the stern, which I guess on a 125 meter long vessel is quite close. So we need to be sure that we can get away from it safely.
Just starting to move.
3.2 and moving off to starboard.
All copy, 3.2 moving off to starboard.
A final push from her thrusters, and Resolution is clear. Captain Larkin can now move on to J4. By sunrise, Resolution is jacked up over J4. Sunny skies offer hope that they can make up for lost time. The hydro hammer is fired up, and this monopile goes in without a hitch.
The way we're looking this morning, I feel pretty confident that we're going to complete installation of the pile, foundation.
But their good luck turns faster than a Solway Firth tide. And for the second time in as many days, the hydro hammer breaks down.
Okay.
Captain Larkin now faces his toughest decision so far. Jack-up vessel Resolution is struggling to stay on schedule, and her monopile driving hydro hammer just broke. The monopile is partly submerged, and the Robin Rig wind farm only half built. Captain Larkin calls an emergency meeting.
A turn of events. Whilst on J4, our piling hammers suffered a failure. We don't have any spares, or we don't have the wherewithal to repair it.
Captain Larkin makes a tough decision.
Our best option is to head back into Belfast. Okay?
For project manager Ian Johnson, it's a tough pill to swallow.
Things were going well, the crew were working pretty smooth, and then we had a lot of problems with the hammer again.
The broken hammer has sunk their construction schedule. To get back on track, they have to return to Belfast as fast as possible.
There's a slightly bigger hammer available that's in the yard of the company who provide this equipment. For the amount of work that we have to do in the time left, the bigger hammer might be a sensible option now.
Before Resolution heads out, her crew puts a 3-meter yellow beacon on the submerged J4 monopile, so other ships won't hit it. Resolution heads back to Belfast. Captain Larkin knows he's got a great ship and a great crew. It's the 1-2 punch he needs to get the job done.
Big picture, we're, I guess, just over halfway through our installation run on the overall completion of the 60 foundations that we've arrived on site to install. We're approaching the dead of winter now. I guess it's going to be more of the same.
They don't call it a wind farm for nothing, but high-octane weather is Resolution's specialty, and she's booked solid for the next 5 years. Her next project is off England's southeast coast. But first, she has to finish the Robin Rig job. And when those 60 turbines are built and their blades spinning, undersea cables will connect the energy they generate to an onshore substation that will deliver 550 gigawatt hours of clean electricity to England's national grid to help power thousands of homes. By 2015, mega offshore wind farms just like this one will crank out 15% of the United Kingdom's power. To help deliver it, 2 more ships just like Resolution will join her in the field.
Our owners and managers feel so confident that people want her that they've decided to build 2 sister ships. Bigger and better. Lessons learned from this vessel will be used to build and enhance the sister ships.
But for now, Resolution reigns supreme, the mightiest jack-up ship in the world.